Hi, it's Juliette from My City Plants. Today I'm going to repot this gigantic bird of paradise in self-watering Lechuza Rondo 40 planter. This planter is about 16 inch in diameter and 30-inch height. The plant I have here in 14-inch nursery pot. The challenge for me today is to repot it by myself without any help. I'm not sure if I can do it, but I'll definitely try. Before I put my gloves on and go to work, let me tell you a little bit about this plant. This is Strelitzia nicolai, also known as white bird of paradise. It's a tropical plant. We received this plant from Florida, that's why it's grown. It's an easygoing plant. It adapts to the city environment. It grows and thrives. It's supposed to flower with the white, beautiful flowers. I've never seen it flower in a city environment. We delivered this plant to thousands of apartments and offices. I've never seen it flower. If you're lucky and you saw this plant bloom, please comment. I would love to hear about it. But for me, it never did. This plant loves bright light, a lot of light, likes humidity. It's a high watering frequency plant because it likes to stay moist just like any tropical plant would. It's active growth during spring and summer. Right now we're in summer and this plant is happily shooting all the new leaves for us. So now let's go to the next step and get this plant ready and get potted in this beautiful new planter. So here's the tools and materials I'm going to use today for my project. I have my favorite bright green gloves here that make everything I do much more fun. I have a gigantic pump spray bottle, big plant, big bottle. I have a very sharp knife and scissors for cutting off bad leaves and for trimming the edges. I have a wonderful vitamin water for plants. This is a plant food made by good dirt. It's all natural. There are no chemicals. There'll be no root burning. Plants love it. It can be used all year round. It can be used anytime. I will definitely use it after I repot the plant to help its roots to adapt and grow and be stronger and healthier. The same company makes wonderful soil. It's made from the peat moss. It provides aeration. It's very full of nutrients. We'll use this soil for like 3-4 years and plants are much happier growing in this soil. Perfect for my new plant. Paper towels for cleaning. Gigantic watering can. This plant has a large root system, so I would need to water this plant afterwards and it will take a lot of water. My last tool, which I cannot live without, is the soil moisture meter. I'll explain a little more to you about this tool when we go into how to care for plant part. But this is what helps me to establish the proper watering routine. So I have everything I need and I can go on. As I mentioned earlier, I'm repotting this giant bird of paradise in self-watering Rondo 40 Lechuza planter. It needs a little bit of assembly, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna remove this beautiful cover and take the inner pot out. So this is the inner pot, and the self-watering system is sealed consistent in the inner pot. This is the planter cover, and I don't need it right now for the next step. Inside the inner pot, I have all the necessary parts. This is a separator. That's what separates the water reservoir from the plant roots. I'm going to place it inside. I don't know if you can see that. The next thing, we would need to assemble the water level indicator. This is a plastic tube with a little red stick inside that tells you if the reservoir is full or empty. So you know if plant used all the water or it didn't. The way this system is built, it's a wonderful, wonderful system, and we work with Lechuza planters for past 8 years exclusively, and I cannot be happier. My plants love it. It looks elegant, it's stylish, the watering frequency is much lower. The way the system is built, it creates perfect environment for the plant growth. It allows the oxygen to go in. It retains the level of moisture. So now I'm putting together water level indicator. There's a red stick that goes inside. I'm attaching it to a floater. And then I'm going to put this at the end of the tube and insert the red stick with the floater inside. There's the cover. Then put the plastic cap on and insert this into this water level indicator holder. This cap covers the reservoir opening. It's right here. So when you pour the water in the reservoir, the water level indicator, the rate 6 goes up, and then you know the reservoir is full. When it's down, the reservoir is empty. The separator somewhere here, so you have that much space for the water. There is no leakage, it's all sealed, so it's all safe to use. At the bottom of the planter, we're going to put the special sap track. The sap track contains of high quality natural mineral stones. It works like a sponge. It absorbs the moisture, but it also keeps the moisture level even and allows the oxygen to get to the roots. I'm simply gonna just put it at the bottom of the planter. Just like that. So the planter is ready for my plant to go in. Now I can go to the plant, clean its leaves, trim, prune, take it out of the nursery pot and transport it in here. Ready or not, here I come. I'm putting my gloves on and I'm gonna look at this beautiful plant and see what it needs from me. The first thing I will do is to remove all the damaged and yellow leaves. What you see right here, all this yellowing and drying out and bruising, part of it is a part of acclimation. It's a shock after plant is being transported. As I told you guys, it's coming from Florida. Part of it is just a scarring from the wrapping. They were wrapped and they were pushed into the truck. The splits that you see, the splits are normal for this plant. All birds of paradise have some degree of splitting. As you can see here, this is natural, this is bruising, and this is definitely acclimation shock. So first thing I'm gonna do, just remove all the leaves that are definitely beyond being safe, and I know they're not gonna come back. I'm gonna use my sharp knife, and I'm just gonna cut the stem out on the angle, the stem of the leaf, close to the next stem, just to give it a nice and clean. You can also just use a little bit of soil to rub in the fresh cut to stop any issues spreading. This is out. Yeah, that knife is the best way to do it. It also helps me doing this before you repot the plant. It also helps me to see the shape of the plant better, because all plants have the front and the back, and once I remove all the bad leaves, I can see what the plant actually looks like, and it will help me to decide how to pot it in the planter. All right, few more leaves here. Out, this guy is out. Turning it around, see what's on the back. Yeah, I should probably cut this one out too. I'm almost done. And again, this is absolutely normal for the younger lower leaves to really go bad after the transportation. And another time when the acclimation shock happens is that when the season is changing, when we're going from hot temperatures indoors using heat to cold air using air conditioning, some of the leaves also might be affected by the temperature changes. So you see now, plant looks much better. What I need to do is to see which side of the plant looks better, so I know how to. Yeah, you see guys, this side is much flatter and it looks much prettier to me. When it's turned around, the shape looks more balanced. It looks fuller. So with this new baby leaf is about to open up, I think that's the way to go. I'm gonna mark the front of the arrangement so I don't forget just so I know this is my front. The next thing to do is to clean it up, trim it, and once again just to see and check all the leaves and see if anything else needs to be removed. But basically kind of give it a nice good preparation before it goes into its new house. So for the trimming, I will need a sharp set of scissors. The reason why you want to use sharp scissors is that you want to avoid bruising the leaves. So sharper your tools are, less damage to the leaf you'll do. And what I do, all the little ripped parts, I'll just trim them so it looks much nicer and cleaner. Also, as you can see, there is the yellow tips that should be removed as well. There is different ways to do it. Some people like to do it on the angle. It's just a matter of the taste. Some people like to do it in more natural oval shape. It's just a matter of how you like the plant. Like if you do it in oval shape, you have to make sure that this part of the leaf matches, so you would have to give it a little, just like that. I will also cut some ripped parts of the leaf. Oops, my microphone. Let's see if I can, those brown tips. I personally just like when plant looks clean, it doesn't have all the damaged parts. It looks more finished to me. It's gonna look happier eventually. There's a little bit of brown tip here, which I'm just gonna, it looks healthier. And browning and drying of the tips is common and normal for this plant. You just need to keep this up regularly. I think my plant, when it comes to trimming, I think it's good. I don't really see any damaged leaves that needs trimming. Of course, after I repot the plant, I will double check everything, but for now it's good. The next thing I will do, I will clean the plant. I'm sure you've noticed all these blue dots and spots. This is what the growers use. It's a part of fertilizer, part of the insect repellent, and the leaves, they spray it all over the greenhouse. And of course, nobody cleans the leaves, but I will. All I need is a paper towel and water. I'm using my super pump spray bottle. You can spray it on the paper towel. You can spray it on the leaf and then just swipe it off. By the way, this is an excellent bottle for misting the plant. As I said, they like humidity, so you can just use this to mist the plant to keep it happy. All right. And you simply wipe off all this, see all this blue? That's from that chemicals that they use. Yeah, a lot of blue. See, now it's clean. Looks so much prettier. When you're washing the leaves, wash top and under the leaves, and also wipe the stems down. There is a lot of dust and leftover all these chemicals and solutions that the greenhouses use to keep the plant healthy and thrive. To get rid of all this blue stain, probably will need like 2-3 more rounds of wash up, but right now it's good. I took care of the top layer of the dust, so I can move to the next step. Everything I've did before was very easy. The challenge comes next. Let's see if I can take out the plant from its nursery pot and move it into its new house. All right, there are a couple of ways to do it. Easy way, you can just take pruners, sharp knife, cut the pot, slice it up in a few areas and just take the plant out. I prefer to take the plant out without working on the pot. Maybe I'm a little bit lazy, or maybe just because I like it that way better. But that's the way I do it, and this is what I'm gonna do now. For me to succeed in my task, I would have to move the plant a little bit higher, so I can have a better grip, and I would grab the plant by the few stems and then I'll just knock the planter out. So the plant is out of its ugly and plastic pot, and I have not damaged anything. Success! So the next thing I'll do, I want to remove this soil. It has a lot of chemical fertilizers in it, which I do not really like. The soil I'm using, as I told you guys, it has a lot of nutrients in. It's full of nutrients, and also I'm going to add vitamins to the plant. Right now I just want to remove the soil. I want to check the roots and see if they're all healthy. I loosen up bottom of the roots a little bit. Yeah, they do look healthy to me. It's a very good plant. So I'm loosening up the roots to help them to adjust to the new environment better and start drinking water. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm happy. The plant is very healthy. Yeah, look how strong. There is no rot. See, they're very firm, they're light color. So if you see something black, mushy, like it's really juicy, the roots then rotting. So then it's not the good plant to use. All right, I think I'm gonna give it a little knock out to get a little bit more soil, loosen it up a little bit more. All right, where is the front of the plant? I see it's good to have a mark, otherwise I would be lost by now. So this is the front of the plant. I like to keep the water level indicator on the back for the aesthetic purpose. And now I'm gonna make a little bit more space here because I know it goes triangular inside the pot, so I know there's a little less space here. I'm gonna make a little more room. I remove a little more soil on this side of the plant so I can plant it nicely. And I think we're ready to go in. Ta-da! We are in the pot. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add good soil, water the plant, give it another look, trim and cleaning, and I'm almost done. I have the same soil, the good dirt potting mix. In this bag is just commercial packaging. This is what we sell. It's made of the peat moss. It's full of nutrients, great porosity. That's the soil I use. And I wish the camera could let you smell it, but it smells so good. It's natural, the smell of earth. It's just amazing. So that's the soil I'm using for the bird of paradise, and I know this plant is going to be very happy in this soil. I'm just putting the soil around the root ball, and you saw we removed a lot of all the soil with all this chemical fertilizer in it. So this will make the plant roots very happy. You add a little soil around it and you press the soil. If something sticks up, just remove it. You do not have to pack it too tight, but you do have to be pretty firm. Okay, looks like we need a little more. Let me see. I think we are in and pretty good. You have to make sure that the soil is leveled, so when you water the plant, the soil would not run out of the edges. Right now you see I have a lot of soil right here that will create a problem. It's going to like run out and go over the pot, so we don't want that. We just have to make sure it's all leveled and even. And the repotting is completed. Now I will move this plant inner pot into its cover and go to the watering part of it. Voila! Oh, it needs to be straightened up a little. It's leaning. But overall, yeah, looks like I've to straighten it up. Let me see. Fabulous. Off to the next step. It is very important to water plant after it's being repotted. I'm going to give this moist, loving beauty the whole gallon. You saw how big the root system is, plus the soil that I used to repot it is very dry, so I need to give it a really good soak so the roots can open up and breathe and relax in the new pot. I have a watering can here. It's about 2 gallons, so I have half of water here. I have added a tablespoon of this wonderful vitamin water. It's 1 tablespoon per gallon, so that's exactly what I need. 1 tablespoon per gallon of water, and this is what I'm giving to this plant. Now you have to pour water slowly between the stems, very close to the stems, because if you do it at the edge of the plant, the water is just going to run through and the plant is not going to get any water. You see how dry the soil is? It doesn't really go through, so I have to do it very slowly. I have to pour the water and wait for the soil to absorb the moisture. It will take a little time, but eventually the soil will get saturated and the water will start gravitate towards the bottom of the roots. While the soil is I have to wait a little bit for the water to settle down. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna give the planter a little wiping just to get rid of all this dust. I think it looks spectacular. Now in this planter, the whole arrangement is about 8.5, 9 feet. If they would be in a regular planter, it would be about 6 feet, so 6.5, 7. So this planter is wonderful if you want to elevate your plants, make them look taller without getting actually a big plant, because bigger the plant, larger the root system. So sometimes it's not easy to have a space for a large pot. So that's the way to do it. You take a shorter plant, I mean big, but shorter, with a smaller root bulb, and you use it in a tall planter to elevate it. Okay, I can add a little more water here. Drink, baby, drink. Let me go on the other side. Okay, I have to wait a little bit again. So I'll do this part of the pot, and I'll clean up leaves a little bit. You see, there's, even though I gave it a nice wipe all around, there are still those blue dots everywhere. It will take a few rounds to get rid of those. It's actually very important to clean the leaves of the plant at least once every 2-3 weeks, not only to remove the dust, to not block the light absorption of the leaves, but also to prevent any infestation of insects, because when the plant is dusty and dirty, that becomes their favorite breeding ground. So cleaning the leaves top and under once every 2-3 weeks, it's very important. All right, I can add a little more water, and then I think the plant will be ready. It has a beautiful light here in this room. It's a good space for him to adapt and acclimate to the new planter, new soil, new environment. Let's see what's going on here. A little bit more, just a touch. All right, I think we are good here. I don't need my gloves anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I like the way it looks. It's very elegant, it's very stylish, it's very modern. So let me tell you a little bit about how to care for plants when they are potted in Lechuza self-watering planter. The way the system works, for the first 3-4 months, we need to wait for the roots to grow into a new pot, open up, grow a little bit, mature a little bit, get stronger. So for the first 3-4 months, the plant needs to be watered through the soil. Just like I did right now, about 80 ounces. It's a big plant, can be 80 to 95 ounces of water when the soil is dry. Let me grab my tool and I'll tell you the trick that I use. Here we are. So the way I do it, some people prefer to use their finger. I prefer to use the soil moisture meter, and I told you I'm going to tell a little bit more about this tool. So that's my magic tool. What I do once every 7 to 10 days, I take the tool and I test the soil around the plant. You see right now it's completely wet because I just watered it clearly. So I'll test it in a few areas, and when the reading is down to 4 and 5, which is moist but like the lowest of the moist zone, that's when this plant needs to be watered. On average, in the bright light spot, it will probably need to be watered once every 2 weeks. 3-4 months passed, the plant adopted, it loves the new planter, the roots are all grown and happy. We can switch to the self-watering method. Again, you test the soil first. When the soil moisture meter is in the beginning of the moist zone, which is 4 or 5, instead of pouring water through the soil, you will pour water directly into the water reservoir, and you keep pouring water until the red stick goes all the way to the maximum mark. And then You will let the plant drink the water. It will drink as much as it wants to, as fast as it wants to. And then when the red stick is back down to minimum, all it tells me that the reservoir is empty. It does not tell me that I need to water plant right away. It just tells me that the water is all used, but it doesn't mean the soil is dry. So when I see that the reservoir is empty, I'll grab my magic tool and I'll start testing the soil again once every 7 to 10 days. Once the soil moisture level is down to 4 and 5, then I'll refill the reservoir. Using the self-watering method, the watering frequency will change to once every 3 to 4 weeks. That's why it's amazing to have these planters. We use these planters in commercial spaces. People close for holidays, they travel, they go away, residential. Everyone loves it because it gives you freedom. Plant is happy, has control of its water supply. So overall, it's just fantastic. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I managed to complete my challenge with one hit. I took the plant out, I repotted it, I cleaned it, I watered it. It's very happy. I'm happy. I love the way it looks. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, you take care of your plants, and I see you soon.